make sure.
Community.
A lot of the officers that you see here today, they all know each other.
Connection and change. It's one of the several stories we're covering tonight in your neighborhood. Your Chris 6 News at 5 starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Clara Benitez Cortez. It was another busy Tuesday at City Council, and there was a lot discussed. We lead things off with neighbors' concerns over what they think is a crack in the Corpus Christi Dam. We went looking for answers. Senior reporter Suzanne Stevens caught up with the Corpus Christi Water CEO Drew Malley at City Hall to see if there's any truth to the rumors. We showed him the post swirling online claiming there is a crack in the Wesley Seal Dam and that the city is quietly draining water. Here's what Malley had to say about that.
I think some people see water coming out of the spillway and they think there's something wrong. The fact of the matter is we're releasing water today. We're releasing water yesterday. We're going to release water tomorrow.
That water flows downstream to treatment plants and becomes part of the city's drinking supply. But the water release isn't the only thing raising eyebrows. Construction at the base of the dam has some neighbors' concerns. Malley says it's part of a $25.5 million spillway upgrade approved last year, not an emergency repair. We've requested work orders related to the dam, and we'll let you know what we find. A multi-million-dollar makeover for animal care services moves forward, minus one major part of the project that raised concerns among some council members. The item of concern is a parking lot and field operation maintenance yard that would cost $821,000. The council did move to vote or approve forward with the other aspects of the project, which includes nearly $1 million for AC improvements to kennels and the administrative building. Also included in that project, 3 full-time positions, including a new animal care services director. The push for all of these improvements comes in the wake of the scathing report that pointed out 170 areas of concern at the animal care services. And we showed you yesterday that Swantner Park may be getting a facelift, and today that dream is becoming a reality. The City Council today approved a motion that would lead to the installation of 26 new LED lights and concrete poles at Swantner Park. The price tag on the project is nearly $76,000. Installation of the new lights will provide nighttime visibility and safety along the park seawall for visitors. Work should begin this month and wrap up by the end of September. Now turning to our forecast now, what type of conditions can we expect for the rest of the week? And when can we expect more rain? Let's turn things over to meteorologist Julia Quiddy. Julia, tell us.
Yeah, so right now we're going to be in for a little bit of a switch up. We got a pause in that rain activity yesterday. Now we're looking at heat being our main weather story for now temporarily. Right now taking a look at our Whataburger sky cam of Whataburger Field, getting a view of those nearly clear skies. Very much a different picture compared to yesterday, seeing mostly cloudy conditions throughout portions of the afternoon, maybe a couple small pockets of sunshine here and there. But at this point, today, we can see a little bit more sunshine coming in our skies for this afternoon. Now that heat is definitely on across the area. It's feeling like summer again here in the coastal bend. See those temperatures reaching towards those upper 90s or even reaching towards those triple digits in areas like Freer and Cotulla, having your air temperatures and your feel like temperatures in those triple digits at this hour. 91 degrees here in Corpus Christi, feeling like 103. 92 over in Robstown with a feel like temperature of 107. So we are just at that cusp of now having heat danger being part of the conversation back for us in the area, seeing anywhere near a minor to moderate or even major risk for heat danger right now in the forecast for this afternoon. This will extend towards tomorrow, and I'll have more details on that coming up.
Julia, thank you. And how far will the U.S. go to protect its interests in the Middle East? That's the looming question today after a White House official said a national security meeting would take place in the Situation Room. The Trump administration says U.S. forces are in a defensive posture in the Mideast for now, but the conflict between Iran and Israel is escalating, as Amy Kiley reports.
I have to be back. Very important.
President Donald Trump says he left the G7 summit early to confer with national security staff about Iran and its growing conflict with Israel. It's in a region that contains a crucial oil route and U.S. military bases. The Situation Room meeting follows Trump's call yesterday for an evacuation of Tehran. Reports indicate Israeli attacks there. The defense secretary says he has sent additional U.S. military capabilities to the Mideast.
I want to see no nuclear weapon in Iran, and we're well on our way to making sure that happens.
Iran's uranium enrichment program is now 50 times the level it was when Trump withdrew from a nuclear agreement with that country in 2018.
Iran has already missiles that can reach Eastern Europe. Wait few more years, they can reach the heart of Europe.
Trump says he wants a ceasefire agreement that includes a nuclear deal. Two sources say he's directing his team to discuss that with Iranian officials as quickly as possible. The White House says the U.S. would defend its regional interests if necessary. Analysts say Israel doesn't have a weapon capable of taking out Iran's Fordo nuclear site. Some say the U.S. does.
Maybe Trump is orchestrating this to make the Iranians an offer he hopes they won't refuse. I suspect they will refuse it.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A federal appeals court is deciding today if President Trump can keep control of California's National Guard troops in Los Angeles. The case centers on National Guard troops being used to protect federal immigration officials during enforcement operations. Now, California Governor Gavin Newsom wants to control of the troops back. A district judge already ruled President Trump's actions were illegal last week. The judge blocked the administration from deploying troops in Los Angeles. The Trump administration quickly appealed that decision.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
The Department of Veteran Affairs is pushing back on claims that it's allowing discrimination. The VA is calling out The Guardian, saying the well-known British news outlet is spreading misinformation. The Guardian just published a story claiming VA doctors can now refuse treatment based on a patient's political beliefs or marital status. VA Secretary Doug Collins responded on X, calling the article false and ridiculous. He also said, quote, all eligible veterans will always be welcome at VA and receive the benefits and services they earned under the law, end quote. Tonight at 6 for this week's Veterans in Focus, Chris 6 anchor Michelle Hoffman will have more information and shows us where the controversy stems from. The Corpus Christi Downtown Management District has a new leader. Arlene Medrano has been named Executive Director by the CCDND Board of Directors. She had been serving as Interim Executive Director since April of this year following Alyssa Mason's departure. Medrano has a strong track record in municipal government, and the board determined that her leadership and vision made her the clear choice to guide the organization forward. Medrano will take over as Executive Director beginning July 1st. And CCISD will be holding another big hiring event. This is video from a hiring event held 2 weeks ago at the Carroll High School. Tomorrow's job fair will be held at Ray High School cafeteria. CCISD is looking for teachers, substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, nurses, district police officers, bus drivers, custodians, and cafeteria helpers. And the Coastal Bend Food Bank got some much needed funds today. The food bank received a grant just over $32,000 from the Morgan Stanley Foundation. Morgan Stanley employees also lending a helping hand around the food bank today. The organization says these funds will help reach children and families facing hunger across the Coastal Bend and will support the mobile pantry program, which expands access to nutritious food in underserved areas.
Food insecurity exists in all of our communities across people of various backgrounds, and so we want to do this to help combat food insecurity here in the Coastal Bend.
Wilson says they've been helping out the food bank for numerous years. For more stories like this, you can always head to our website, christv.com.
$2 million to help keep people safe while walking. I'm Melissa Trevino in Alice, learning more about a state grant city leaders want to help improve pedestrian safety. I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Alice. City leaders here tell me they want to help keep people safe while walking in this city. The move comes at a cost of $2 million.
I am very for it. I really think it's a great thing.
I think that's nice. It's good, especially for the old people.
Jose Morales and Irma Chapa tell me they are pleased to learn Alice city leaders want to add sidewalks in the city. Both are longtime residents.
It took too long because I know I'm getting older and there's older people and then the young kids. You know, it's all safety for them.
Chapa, whose children are adults now, tell me she recalls them walking everywhere, including along streets with no sidewalks.
We have a lot of kids that walk to and from school still, So it's important for them to be a little safer.
Safety remains the goal for city leaders, they say, as they work again to get a multi-million-dollar grant to install sidewalks.
We tried in 2023. We were able to do the first preliminary application, and then we went into the detailed application. Unfortunately, we were not selected.
Desiree Controla wrote the grant, which she says has a 0% match.
In order to improve our safety here at the city, we really need to come up with something to help our city and our citizens.
City leaders want to add sidewalks along South Reynolds, near William Adams Middle School, 5th Street by St. Elizabeth Catholic School, and along Main Street. None of those areas now have sidewalks.
Not everybody has a vehicle. We have our students that are walking. We have our citizens that walk. The other thing it does is if someone's living in the apartments, they can walk to the library safely.
Alice Mayor Cynthia Carrasco tells me it makes total sense for city leaders to go for a grant that'll keep Alice neighbors safe. City leaders don't have a start date on construction as they are waiting to learn if TxDOT will approve their grant request. In Alice, I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter, Chris 6 News.
All right, now taking it outside, looking at our view from our Skycam over top SPID. You can see those traffic is starting to get a little bit more busy right now at this hour. So going to take a look at those traffic maps to get a better idea we can expect on those roadways for your evening commute. Heading from Portland over to the Harbor Bridge in both directions, looking at pretty easy driving conditions right now at the moment. Heading on over towards downtown, got a little bit of a busy drive throughout portions of Ocean Drive as well as throughout portions of SPID. A little bit of a mixture of medium to slow speeds that you're going to encounter right now at this hour on Saratoga 2. Heading on over to Flower Bluff, not too bad on Waldron Road, pretty much clear for the most part, as well as on Flower Bluff Drive. Then heading on to the JFK Causeway going to from the island, looking at easy driving conditions there too. That's it for your Traport. The details of your forecast coming up. Hey there, good afternoon and welcome back. I'm meteorologist Julia Quady. So it's feeling like summer yet again for us here in the coastal bend. That strong ridge of high pressure is now changing our weather conditions from having rainfall in the forecast like we did yesterday to now looking at pretty much oppressive heat and humidity that's going to be starting to dial its way back into our area beginning this afternoon. Right now taking a look at our live Sand Dollar City Skycam over in Port Aransas. Have some folks out there taking advantage of these summer-like conditions and heading out towards our coastal beaches. So just make sure if you do go ahead and do that, wear that SPF and still continue to practice heat safety because across the coastal bend, air temperatures are reaching toward those 90s or those triple digits for areas that are further out west, but all of us are feeling like the triple digits nonetheless across the area. Corpus Christi sitting at 91 degrees, feeling like 103, 90 over in Beeville with a feel like temperature of 97, 87 over in Port Aransas, feeling like 98 degrees at this hour. We do have a decent enough breeze coming in though from the southeast. You can see those winds kind of ranking anywhere between the lower teens or towards the upper teens. Faster wind speeds being clocked right now over in Beeville at 18 miles an hour. Looking at mostly sunny skies, that's of course going to add towards that summer-like heat that is in place across the area. Now getting a closer look at our temperatures over in Flower Bluff. We can see again, temperature is going to be a tiny bit cooler. You're a little bit closer towards the coast, so offering a little bit of relief thanks to those southeasterly winds. So our air temperatures in those areas in that neighborhood of Flower Bluff mostly reaching towards those upper 80s. But again, just remember, those feel-like temperatures are going to still be at least in towards the upper 90s or those triple digits. But thankfully, those will start to calm down over for us over the next few hours. By tonight, 9 o'clock, still feeling like the lower 90s, but then falling towards the upper 80s overnight. Ahead for tomorrow, Wednesday, pretty much the same conditions that we're having this afternoon is going to be ahead for us on our Wednesday. Still going to see those temperatures reaching towards those triple digits ahead for us on your Wednesday afternoon. So heat risk is now part of the conversation yet again for us because we are going to see those dangerous ranges of those feel like temperatures reaching towards the middle triple digits for us across the area. So today, a little bit of a mixture, anywhere between a minor, moderate, or major risk for heat danger in the forecast today. Bit of a worse picture ahead for us tomorrow, with all of us going to be in that moderate to major risk for heat danger. That major risk, of course, as you can see, is mostly regulated to areas that are further inland, so nearby Cotulla as well as Freer. So all of us are going to be looking at dangerous heat ahead for us for tomorrow. That's going to extend as well over the next few days. So heat and humidity, that's just going to be a part of the conversation right now as relates towards this dangerous heat that's going to be in place. And then when our rain chances come in ahead for the latter half of this week and toward this upcoming weekend, of course, moisture, rainfall, humidity, that kind of goes hand in hand. So still we'll still kind of be in that oppressive range, even when our rain chances do begin to uptick a bit as we head towards the latter half of this week. But right now, this is what's giving us the weather pattern that we're in the moment with the strong ridge of high pressure. That's what we're seeing now. Mostly sunny skies, less cloud cover compared to yesterday, and now plentiful sunshine and a dangerous heat right now that is currently in place. But ahead for us towards the end of this week, start to see a little bit more green coming back to the map with that batch of tropical moisture that's going to push its way into the area. And that's what's going to help us out with our rain chances that will extend towards this Friday and even towards this upcoming weekend. So looking at our 6 to 10 day outlook, we're looking at likelier wetter conditions coming to the forecast for us here in South Texas. So right now, rain chances look pretty promising beginning on Thursday. And again, that's going to extend to the early part of next week.
Julia, thank you. We want to remind you of some opportunities you might have to speak to your neighborhood news reporters about important topics that matter to you in your area. That's why we're hosting listening tours in every neighborhood. The first of this is going to be Thursday on North Padre Island. Neighborhood news reporter Erin Hawley will be at the Cabana Pantry on South Padre Island Drive. She wants to hear what's most important to you so we can cover those stories. Erin will be there from 9 in the morning until 11 a.m. $15 per hour is what several lawmakers are proposing to be the federal minimum wage. We'll walk you through some pros and cons next.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
Welcome back. Raising the minimum wage has long enjoyed widespread popularity among Democrats, but now one Republican senator from Missouri is crossing party lines and proposing to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at the pros and cons.
A proposal to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour is gaining traction.
The minimum wage hasn't increased in 15 years.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri has teamed up with Democratic Senator Peter Welch of Vermont to introduce the legislation.
I just think it's basic justice. It's time to give American workers a raise.
Right now, the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour and hasn't been raised since 2009. This proposal would be more than double that rate. Several states, though, have voted to raise their minimum wages. The highest minimum wage is in the District of Columbia at $17.50 an hour, followed by Washington State, $16.66 an hour, and California's minimum wage, $16.50 an hour. But many states just use the federal minimum wage as their own. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that $7.25 in June of 2009 would be equivalent to $10.81 in 2005 when you factor in inflation. And while inflation has cooled recently, according to a recent federal report, one financial expert responding to the latest consumer price index number said Americans still feel like the cost of living is high.
Most people are most likely not looking at a purely economic sentiment reading. They're taking the assessment of their whole picture.
Here's the concern of raising the federal minimum wage. A few years ago, when the Congressional Budget Office looked at what a similar hourly increase would do to the economy, they found some low-wage workers could become jobless as business owners hired fewer workers due to rising labor costs. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Stay with us on your Chris 6 News at 5. We have one final check of the weather after this.
All right, now taking a look at your 7-day forecast, where we can see things are looking to be a bit more rainy in the forecast beginning on Thursday. Right now, we're talking about that heat really being an issue for us right now. So we can see ahead for us tomorrow, more of the same that we're experiencing today, with that heat risk still going to be in that moderate to major zone. Temperatures will still reach towards those mid to upper 90s, maybe triple digits for areas that are further out west, but a little bit relief with some more rain chances on the way later on in the week.
Julia, thank you. The 2025 Texas Police Games are underway in Corpus Christi, and today's featured competition was the motorcycle rodeo. The Texas Police.
So it really is a brotherhood. It really is a small group of, even though they're in different states or different towns or cities, we still know each other because we see each other on a regular basis. We train together, we operate together on escorts, and et cetera, et cetera.
And that was a police officer from Round Rock. Officers say anyone can come out and watch them compete. And the last day of competition is tomorrow, starting around 9 a.m. And that looks fun. You know, I know that sometimes being a police officer can be kind of tough and serious, but this gives them a little bit of fun and compete against other officers in the state.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. It's nice for any occupation, though, to be able to bring a little bit of joy to your job. Just a little
Yeah,
bit.
most definitely. And they had good weather for it, too.
Yes, they do, and they'll have even more good weather ahead for us tomorrow. Rain doesn't start until Thursday.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We will see you here at 6 o'clock. Good night.